Now, I'll tell you what, I got a couple of videos that I've been kind of wanting to make, right? And I think I'm going to make one of them today. Since it's Friday, y'all ain't got no jobs. You ain't got shit to do. So, today, I want to talk about unions, right? And in particular, I want to talk about the reasons why it is that like everybody thinks the way they think about things today, right? Because when I say unions, the vast majority of people who like lean Republican have this immediate like, oh, like fucking this, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like a fucking mobsters and fucking like terrible union dues and horrible practices and destroying America and Detroit and all these things, right? Well, none of that's the truth. Not an ounce, right? In the end of the day, it's not. I'm gonna try and show you today what kind of happened, right? Because like as we all know, right? Like the Rust Belt is a thing. And the reason the Rust Belt is a thing, right, is because of one person, right? This cocksucker. Milton Friedman, right? So this guy Milton Friedman came through in the 1970s, right, and came out with, he's from the Chicago School of Economics, and he sat here and he started promoting these ideas of free market capitalism, right, and the United States government and the people of the United States government sat here and thought that it would be a good idea to deregulate and allow companies to go overseas and things of this nature, right? Da da da, because of the fact that we were having inflation and problems, and whatever the case is. So rather than solve like the problems that had become issues due to the fact that we were like not running things properly, right? We decided that we would sit here and, like just ship all of our fucking manufacturing to someplace else to be done, which in turn would drop the wages, which in turn would drop inflation because people don't have the buying power. And one of the ways of doing these type of things was to break the fucking unions, right? Now, over the past, so many years, what ended up happening is you had what's known as union membership drop, right? As you can see, it hit a peak in, like in 1950s when, all of us go like America was amazing. It was great. Like, you had like three kids in a house and, like dad went to work and mom stayed home and baked the pie and, leave it to beaver and all these type of things. Well, the way that this happened was through union membership, right? Because like, you had, the top 10% of, US earners get their asses, handed to them by the fucking population of the country, right? And see, the moment that everything started kind of evening out, where like we were sitting here, having the opportunity to do well, everybody did well, and the country was successful as a whole, right? But instead of like allowing this to continue to happen, right, and having some simple economic conversations about making this continue to happen, right, we decided that it would be much, much better if the top 10% of, income earners, sat here and got way more money into their pockets. And like, oh, here's another fucking graph, just to show you like this is how the hell these things operate. And basically the premise is that, what you have to do in order to pull in like, the labor share of GDP is you have to have some way of being able to make, um, the top, the top earning corporations, the corporate profits, whatever it is, right? Be able to have money taken out of their pockets and put into ours, right? You have to force them to do so because they're not going to do so because like they're not altruistic. This is capitalism, right? And one of the ways that they sat here and told y'all that things like unions were bad is that they go, man, listen, like you got to pay all these union dues. Well, the average union due, for a union member, right, is, $582 a year, right, which is about $10 a week, maybe like $12 a week, right? $12 a week. It's $40 a month. Well, $50 a month at the end of the day, right? It's $50 a month. And on average, the average take home pay of a union worker is, $24 an hour. So you have to understand it, like you earn more money, right? And on top of earning more money, what also ends up happening is that, like you end up not having to pay for things like health insurance, right? And you also don't have to pay for things like retirements, not in the way that everybody else does. Like, see, for like I've worked in the private sector, I've worked in union sectors, right? So when I was in a union for $20 a week, I had full coverage health insurance for me, my two sons, and my wife, and dental and vision. And it was top shelf Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance that literally pediatricians were begging for my children to come to their offices. Everybody was begging for my children to become, part of their practice. It wasn't like, oh my God, how am I going to get my kid into like, the top pediatrician? They came to me for $20 a week. You go into the private sector now. Go, I'm a truck driver. I go and I work, for trucking companies. And the cost of health insurance weekly is $250 for me by my motherfucking self. See the difference here? See how much money you're saving by shelling out that, little $10 a week, $12 a week? See the difference? This is the problem that they don't talk about. Now, we will have a real conversation about about actually like what it's like to be inside of a union, because everybody goes like, oh man, they only protect shitty workers, they they fuck everybody up and everybody gets pissed off and da 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 da. Well, look, so being part of a union is like being part of a team, right? You can't just leave your team behind. You kind of got to wait for everybody to catch up, which sucks for a lot of people who are super duper you bought into this liberal system, right? You got to slow down, milk the clock, learn how to be a dairy farmer, and when time comes, you bust your ass and you handle your business. And sometimes you have to carry the weight of garbage ass fucking workers and shit. And, they'll do their best to get those type of people to fuck out of there. But some of them, just is what it is. They're there to earn a fucking paycheck the same as you are. And they might be slower than you. Right. And you have to stop comparing yourself to other people and stop having this conversation and understand that your work doesn't have to define you. Right. Your job doesn't define who you are as a fucking person. This is just where you go to earn money to be able to provide for your family so you can live a life outside of your job. It's a fucking completely foreign concept for Americans, right? Because all we think of ourselves as is what we do, right? We think about ourselves as how we earn our money. We don't think of ourselves really as family members or community members or things of this nature, right? And this is where the idea of unions, really comes into play, because what you're doing is you're saying, I'm part of this community. You're not going to come in here into my community and bring your corporation without paying us proper wages so we're able to live. You're going to pay us, in the same way that we would expect anybody to pay us. You're not going to come in and take advantage of us. We're going to extract our pound of flesh from you, because I don't need you in our community. We don't need Walmart. It's unnecessary. We have grocery stores, right? We have parts stores. We have hardware stores. We don't need you. You come here, because we allow you to come here. That's the reality of it at the end of the day, right? So when you start looking at things like unions, it's a much different way of looking at life as a whole and how you conduct your business, right? And it's a way of you being able to go hey, look, man, this is just a job. I'll help you out with your company, right? I'll make sure that your company, I'll be productive, but you're going to pay me. And when I'm done doing my job, I'm going to fuck home and I'm not going to think about this place again, because it doesn't matter, because this isn't what defines me. I'm working so that I can live, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not living so I can work. That's the reality of it. And it's a whole foreign concept to most individuals. But I think it's an important one to have. It's an important conversation to have. It's an important ideology to have. It's a different way of thinking about things completely, right? And it needs to happen more often. Now, these type of things break the system. And this is why, the Democrats abandoned the unions a long time ago, because the Democrats, are fully beholden to the institutions and the systems and the things that hold up those institutions and systems, which are these giant mega corporations and these fucking tech firms, right? If fucking Amazon had to stand here and pay fucking union workers, they'd go out of business. Some really simple shit here. You know what I mean? You have to sit here and understand it when you're a normal person, right? And like you want to stand here and have your wages raised. You want to have your health insurance raised. You want to have your safety concerns addressed. When you want to stand here and have, proper vacation time and sick time, and you want to be able to spend time with your family. You want to be able to retire. You need things like unions because negotiating by yourself as one individual with an entire company, right? That's not something that the vast majority of Americans can do. It's just not because they can plug and play, right? When you are, like even if you're a welder, like yeah, you can come in and be a hitman, but let's be honest here, long term, like you're gonna need medical care because that's a physical job. Mechanic, it's a physical job, right? All of these bricklayers, masons, construction workers, these are physical jobs. You can't work till you're 70. You can't do it. It doesn't work that way. To go, oh, well, you just start your own crew and do all this stuff. Like, man, listen, why? Why would you think that's what you're supposed to do? Again, you get back to you're living to work. No. All right, yo, you're supposed to have a couple of kids and enjoy your life. Spend some time with them. You ever try to run a fucking business and spend time with your kids? It's very difficult. You work all fucking day, right? Because like yo, you're not taking an hourly rate. You know what I mean? It's not like you're working 9 to 5. You're working fucking 14 hours a day. Then you're coming home and doing the books. It's not. It's not a positive thing. You're living to work again, and a lot of people don't want that responsibility. Why do I want to be on the hook for the fucking tax liability at some fucking corporation and have to deal with workers' comp and people, guys having to hire employees and dealing with all the bullshit that goes? No, I just want to go to work every day and come home. I don't want to be a millionaire. I'm not a down on my luck billionaire like all these fucking retards want me to think. I'm not that dude. No, no, no. That's not what it is. All right. I want to go fishing. That's all I want. I want to take my children fishing and like enjoy my life. That's what you're supposed to do as a man. Once you accept the fact that, like, yo, you're not going to be an NFL player. You're not going to be a basketball player. You're not going to be a fucking musician. You're not going to be like head of Google. You're not going to run Amazon. You're not going to be Elon Musk. You're not going to be Bill Gates. You're not going to be Hillary Clinton. You're not going to be like fucking Joe Biden. You're not going to be Donald Trump. You're not going to be any of these things. That's okay. Because there's tons of things about you that make you a great person regardless. Then you just go to work and come home. Spend time with your wife and live every day. This is why a lot of us are having problems today because, like, yo, that shit is not there. That opportunity doesn't really exist. And when we get that opportunity, we squander it because we're so caught up in this fucking dumb shit, this dumb idea that we're individuals, that we, that we are like, we're not actually part of, like a fucking community and a social network. Reality, man. Day to day. That's what it is. Now, look, I just want to put this out here. Tom P's and Pnoid dudes. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe, motherfuckers. Holla. I'm out.